it's April here. Are people born wicked, or do they have wickedness thrust upon them? I think in my case it's definitely the latter. So in today's video, we will be going through my process of making an American Girl Glinda from the Wicked movie. The main aspects of this project: the doll, obviously, for which I am using a Truly Me 124, the dress, the crown, the wand, and of course my specialty, the box. Okay, so I could start bold and tackle the dress, but I think it will be quite time consuming. Therefore, it will be more satisfying to start somewhere else, like her wand. These are acrylic lollipop sticks. I have these longer ones and shorter ones. To begin with, I tried just gluing the pieces together, but that wasn't working great. And then I tried heating up the marble and then adding the sticks to it. And that was working okay, but not well enough. And then I decided the size wasn't right. And quite frankly, I hated how it looked. So, new plan. In the meantime, I'm going to get started on the box. For the box, I'm using a 2021 Winter Princess box. I have to cover the writing on the back. I will also need a sticker or something to cover Collector Series and the Swarovski crystals, since I won't be using any of those. And I'm also going to try to remove this decal on the clear plastic as well. A big reason that I decided to use an Ellie box on this project is because it will help showcase her dress in a way a regular box simply cannot. Okay, after some brainstorming, I have decided to spray paint the lower portion of the front of the box, paint the entire back, and see kind of what that looks like. So I taped off anything that I didn't want painted. For the back, I'm using light pink and green, and for the front, I'm just using green. And I decided that looked okay. So I printed 2 Wicked logo stickers, one small one for the front and a big one for the back. And yes, I measured. It was like physically painful for me to do so, but I did it. Once I had those 2 logos placed, I coated both boxes in a clear lacquer sealant. Okay, now for the front of the box. I tried to remove the old logo and that didn't work, and I couldn't come up with an idea that I liked that covered it up either. So I found a replacement sheet at Hobby Lobby, and what I'm doing right now is I'm using a heat gun to soften the glue so I can gently pry this up to hopefully remove it without doing major damage. That appears to be working. Now that I have the old piece out, I'm going to use it as a pattern for the replacement. I cut my sheet from Hobby Lobby to size, and then I'm using a pink poster board for the border. I used my Cricut to make permanent vinyl decals for the front of the box. I decided on Glinda in gold lettering with delicate pink bubbles around it. For Glinda's crown, I'm going to try to build it myself, and I got this idea from Makara Tours.
Anyway, I had to improvise with items I already had.
Let's take this out to the garage to spray paint it.
I will be using a 18-inch doll-size headband, and now I'm adding zip ties to it. These will give me the structure I need to add rings, and I'm tying the rings into place using thread to begin with. Now that that's done, I got these little pendant stars. I don't want the eyelet on these, so I'm using wire cutters to remove that. I wasn't quite sure how to adhere these 2 pieces together to begin with, but after some research, I decided on epoxy. I haven't ever used it before, but it appears to be a pretty straightforward process. You add some to a disposable dish, mix it up, apply it, and wait for it to dry, and it's supposed to give a pretty good strong hold. While that dries, let's jump to something else. I made a hoop skirt for her using ribbon and boning material. This will help give her skirt more body and make it appear nice and full. As for the skirt itself, I cut 4 layers of organza pink fabric, and then I added glitter glue swirls to the outer layer. I cut 4 14-inch circles from my organza fabric and decorated them with glitter glue as well. Woo! Oop, and a little loopy. Now that the glitter glue is dry, I'm adding the sequins to the main skirt. I'm using the button setting on my sewing machine to just speed that process along. Then I added a 1/4-inch horsehair braid to the bottom of the skirt. And then I added even more glitter glue details to the main skirt, and while it dries, I am going to sew the horsehair braid into my 4 14-inch circles. My 14-inch circles are done, so I'm going to get them pinned into place where I like them, and once that's done, I will tack them into place with thread. I decided to go with an elastic waistband, so I just have to get that run through, and then the skirt will basically be done. And now this skirt has so much body that it can literally stand on its own. Crown is dry. I'm going to spray paint it silver. And it turns out just silver wasn't the look I was going for, so I bought this mirror effect paint, and I really hope it works because this little can was like 17 doll hairs. Back to the dress. I draped the top using some scrap fabric. The result kind of looks like a flower petal, of which I cut 4 pieces from my organza fabric, 2 for each side. Then I sewed in my horsehair braid around the edges of those. I have the new supplies for the wand! Woo! I got blind openers, ornaments, and some assorted clear marbles. I'm using the biggest ones out of this pack. So I'm thinking marble, blind rod end, blind rod, marble, blind rod end, and then the wand topper, for which I'm using this mini clear ornament. But first, I'm going to start epoxying all of this together, and I'm using some styrofoam packaging to hold the pieces in place while the epoxy dries. Once again, we're changing gears and we're jumping back to the crown. The mirror effect paint was a success, and now I'm just going to epoxy on my jewels. I'm starting with the largest gems that I have and then working my way down to the smallest. Some have more than others. I was just basically adding them all willy-nilly. And I'm sorry, this project is jumping all over the place, but that's how it actually happened. There was a ton of stop and go with this project. There were so many things that had to be added and then have glue and they had to dry. So I was all over the place with this project, and I've actually cut some of that out for this video just so it's not giving everybody extreme whiplash. We're just going for more of a mild whiplash. For the spiky things on her wand, I got some icicle ornaments from Hobby Lobby. And I even bought myself a mini table saw to cut these down to size. And if my husband asked, this was definitely a necessity. Okay? Everybody on the same page? And you know, I only almost cut myself like 3 or 4 times so far. So that's pretty good for me. Don't do what I do, kids and adults. And quite frankly, anyone who watches this. Just don't do what I do. I have taken woodshop, so I do have that experience under my belt. Granted, my teacher did literally cut off half his finger in class. So maybe not the best instruction, but I did learn that I definitely don't want to cut off my finger. But I was already pretty sure of that, so I don't really know what I learned. But true story, by the way. Epoxy for the win, once again, when it came to attaching the icicles to the ball. Well, it's not actually a ball, it's an ornament. And I know what you're thinking now. What about her shoes? And for her shoes, I got this Our Generation set a while back because I thought the shoes would be perfect. So obviously her factory face will just not do, so I removed the factory eyebrows and lashes before painting on my own. I used watered down acrylic paints and watercolor pencils for her face up. This is officially the smallest French manicure I've ever given, and so for this I just added a little bit of white acrylic paint to the tips of her nails, and then I painted them glossy with glossy Mod Podge, which I did a time lapse of it drying. I don't really know what I was expecting, but yeah, that wasn't very impressive, but I don't give a twig what anybody thinks about it. I actually haven't ever watched Wicked, but I did look up movie quotes for you guys. And speaking of the movie, in the movie they gave Ariana these shoulder jewel things. So for that, I'm going to use some earrings that I popped through the cloth body and then I put the backs on them so they would stay in place. And there you go, bubbly shoulder jewel things. I will need to pierce her ears, so obviously I drilled into her head, and now I need to make some earrings. So I got these stick-on jewels from Hobby Lobby because I think they match well enough. So I'm just gonna remove these stickers from the back, and then I got a pair of American Girl Doll star earrings, and I'm gonna put the jewel on the earring, and for that, epoxy once again saved the day. And I didn't use all this epoxy in the most ventilated of areas, but if for some reason you decide to go against what I've said and decide to do this, I recommend that you do. I got sequins, I got jewels, I got beads. All of this is for the top of the dress, and basically I just started gluing and sewing everything on it, and what I'm hoping is a similar fashion to the original dress. This process was time consuming, mainly because of the dry time between gluing things in place. And here we have her wig. I decided on the Dallas Doll Co wig called Angel Cake.
Popular, you're gonna be popular.
Well, that is all I have for you today. If you are interested in purchasing Glinda, she will be available in my Etsy shop. And if you would like to enter to win this custom Taylor Swift doll that I'm giving away when I reach 10,000 subscribers, the link is in the description below. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do so we can reach 10,000 subscribers. And I hope you all have an adorable day.